Purim comes from a story told in the book of Esther, Megillat Esther, in which the Jewish people were under threat of being annihilated by Haman, who was the high official of the Persian Empire under King Ahasuerus. He casts a lottery in order to find a date to destroy them all. And in the end, through the actions of Esther and Mordechai, the Jews come into safety. What is most striking about the story and the book is that, on the one hand, this concept of lottery, that is essentially just a way to find a date to kill the Jewish people, becomes the name of the actual festival. We call it Purim, which simply means lottery. The other is that the book itself is told in a very strange way, especially for a book of the Bible. God's name is not mentioned in the book even once. Those two aspects, the fact that we call the festival Purim and that God's name is not mentioned in the entire story, set the tone for this festival and how it is that we celebrate it. There are some major things that shift in the mind of the Jewish people at this point, and to a certain degree, they come of age at this point in their understanding of God and their place in the world. One thing that they understand as a result of the lotteries is that the world is a random place, and that God does not mechanically manipulate the world. All that God does is will the world, wish it to be, and the world responds to the will of God that runs through it and finds itself in culmination, and that God's will come through. And in that vein, God's name is not mentioned in the entire story because all that's necessary is the will of God for the Jewish people to come through. And this is precisely what Mordechai tells Esther in the story. He says to her, "You, Esther, are not crucial to this story. The Jews will be fine whether you act or not. But one thing that will be absolutely different is your name and your place in the story. If you act, you will take a place within the story. And if you don't, you and your father's household will disappear." What we learn from that in terms of our own lives is that the world will meet the end that it is meant to, that God's will for the world will manifest. And it will manifest in random ways. Why is that important? Because the randomness allows for options. The world can come together in any number of ways. And what it means to us personally is that although the world will come to where it is that it needs to get to, whether we act or not, it is our choice as to whether we want to be part of it or not. We can choose to be in the story or to sit back in the backdrop and watch it play before our eyes.